Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Lonnie from Flight Sim Gaming. Today we are back in Canada. This is Deer Lake. I think it's international. It might be a regional airport. I'm not too sure, but this is Deer Lake Airport. It is a handcrafted airport that came with the Canada World Update, and we are in the RJ flying to Toronto International Pearson. This is a real-world flight flown by Air Canada Jazz. Our call sign is AC7947. It is flown in the RJ, the CRJ900.
Crew boarding starting.
I wanted to do a flight from St. John's. I do have some scenery out there from CYDF Addons. It's a beautiful airport, but I really wanted to fly the RJ. Try to keep this plane a part of the channel. And Air Canada Express does not fly out of St. John's anymore, so Deer Lake is always okay. You know, performance is great at this airport. It is a handcrafted airport that came with, like I said, the World Update, and we'll see how she flies. I've never flown into here. I have never flown out of here. It is fairly small, as you can see. One runway. Very small airport here. No jetways. But I have to say, for a handcrafted airport, it doesn't look too shabby, you know what I mean?
Your crew has boarded.
So let's see. Let's jump inside the cockpit. Let's get things rolling. Let's get up in the air, shall we? Got the doors open. I got GSX doing its thing. I got the GPU is connected. Go upstairs. We'll go ahead and we will set some things here. Nav and logo lights will come on. Arm the emergency lights. Seat belts, no smoking, go to the auto position. Clear some master caution warnings. Come down here and we'll line up the nav. Very simple. Come down to the Collins McDo and we will set up our flight plan.
Passengers
Airport.
Boarding starting.
Deer Lake. Plug that in there. Sets the position there. That's great. Origin. Going Deer Lake. Toronto Pearson. We are going to be Air Canada 7947. To be honest, I'm not sure if it's Jazz. I don't know what their call sign actually is, if it's Air Canada 7947 or if it's Jazz. Actually, I'm going to take a quick look here because I'm curious to know. I think all RJs flying here in Canada use Jazz. It is Jazz 7947. So we'll go ahead and we'll change that. Jazz 7947. We'll plug that in there. SimBrief, it did give us an alternate. It is CYOW. I think that's Ottawa. CYOW, we'll plug that in there. And we'll execute. Perfect. We'll come over to the departure page. This is going to be the Deer Lake 9 departure out of runway 25. We'll execute that. And then we will input our flight plan here. So we're going from the runway direct Yankee Golf Papa. Yankee Golf Papa. Plug that in there. From Yankee Golf Papa, we're going direct Yankee Romeo I. From there, we're going to Dyson. From Dyson, it's direct the arrival in Toronto, which we will do. We are expecting the Amoeba 8, the Logitech Trans, and Let's take a brief here and see which runway we are expecting in Toronto. It's probably going to be runway 24 left or 24 right. And it looks like it's going to be 24 left. So we will look for ILS 24 left. Plug that in there. The arrival is Amoeba 8. Athletic trans for ILS 24 left. Execute that. Just make sure we don't have any discons. If we do, we fix. That all looks good. What we'll do now is we'll come over to the performance init page here. We're going to plug in a couple numbers in here. We are expecting flight level 360. Go ahead and I'll plug that in there. Come over here to the EFB. And we are going to change some of our weights here. We have a zero fuel weight of 30,420. Enter that in there. Our fuel, we are expecting block fuel about 7,000 kilos. Put that in there. Set payload and simulator. Copy performance to FMS. Set this. We have a takeoff trim 7.1. Come over here. We need 7.1. 7.1. There we go. We'll make sure that our fuel and our zero fuel weight did enter the MCDU. Go ahead and we'll execute that. That is looking great. VNAV setup. Transalp here in North America is 18,000 feet. I say North America, but really it's Canada, US. I believe Mexico is 18.5. Just want to make sure that's okay. That looks great. Perfect. I like to come over here and I like to set some things up here. We'll get rid of the airport. And that looks fantastic. We will go ahead. We're going to put our fuel pumps on. We'll put our hydraulics on. We'll go ahead and we'll open up the APU door. Start it. Make sure APU comes alive. Looks like boarding has been completed. APU sounds great. Hop back inside. Come back up top. APU is on. Packs will go on. I'm not sure if that's a procedure, but packs will go on. Perfect. Let's come over to the Navigraph charts page here. We need to look at, first of all, let's unload our last flight there. Import a flight from SimBrief. Deer Lake, Toronto. Here we go. Need to check the altimeter. Information, weather, altimeter, 29er83. Come over here and we will watch the altimeter here, 29er83. That is perfect and set. Come back up here. Flight director will come on. Quickly have a look at the departure charts here just to make sure there's nothing crazy here. Okay, what do we have here? Runway 25, no left turn below 1200, climb heading 246 for vectors, maintain 6000. I maintain 6000, we're going to climb 246. So we are expecting flight level 360. We'll just shoot right on up to flight level 360. It's not a big deal. That's great. Heading mode will be set, and we're going to set 246 on the heading. That looks fantastic. Great. We got some warnings here. We're going to set some of these things shortly. That's all set. That's all set. Arm reverse thrust. That's all yada yada yada. We'll go ahead and we'll plug that in there. I'll go ahead and I'll set the ILS frequency in Toronto. ILS. It says runway 33, right? Disregard that. That's not it. Where we're landing. We're going 24 left. Mind you, it's a 3-hour flight, so that can all change. ILS frequency 112.15. Come down here. 112. Sorry, 112.5? 112.15. 112.15. That is set in there. Perfect. Stab trim, engage, mock trim on, yaw dampener will come on. Good. Let's see. How many more bags? Almost done. I hope everybody's day is doing well. I know mine is. It's always a great day when you get to fly. Next video, we will be back in Europe. I have a flight scheduled in Poland. I am not sure yet if I'm flying to or from Kraków or Krakow, Poland. We might be arriving in Krakow from either Glasgow or we might be departing and heading up to Oslo, Norway. I know there's some beautiful scenery out there. I forget who recently released the Oslo scenery, but we'll do some Wizz Air ops in the A320 somewhere in Europe. But regardless, we're flying out of Poland. I'm excited for that. The Krakow International Airport is done by Derzicki Design. So if you want to catch if you want to purchase that airport, you can. Sim Market. I believe it's 50% off right now, which is great. Last couple bags are going in. We'll just continue to wait. Once again, I want to thank everybody who is a part of the Flight Sim gaming community. We are currently not at 50 subs as I record these videos, well in advance. But if we do hit 50 by the time this video gets released, like I said in the last video, we will be doing another giveaway. It'll be a Sim Market gift voucher. Haven't decided yet on the gift voucher amount. It's probably going to be either 25 euros or 50 euros. We'll see. Looking forward to that. Looks like all our bags are loaded, which is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to the tablet here, or the EFB, and we're going to make sure that all our doors are closed and everything except the front cargo, the passenger door is closed. We're going to close everything up here. Fuel chocks show that they're in place. We're going to go ahead and remove that.
Welcome aboard this flight. We hope you enjoy flying with us. Before takeoff, we would like to encourage all passengers to watch our cabin crew display the safety features of the aircraft.
Aerosoft does a very nice little announcement there anyway. Prepare for pushback. We do not want ice treatment. I'm getting better with this aircraft. It's quite the handful. But there's a lot of little things you can learn. There's a couple good videos out there on YouTube. Some real-world CRJ pilots. They teach you a lot of nice little tricks. If you want to purchase this aircraft, you can find it either on the Flight Sim Marketplace, or you can purchase it, I believe, from Sim Market as well. So, we are departing runway 25, I believe, so we're going to have to go nose right, tail left, released, go ahead, start up engine number 2. We are looking for about 20% to N2 before we introduce the fuel. There we go. And one is rising. Go. Looks like we have oil pressure, and then we're going to go ahead and start left engine.
Please pay attention as we display the safety features and procedures of the aircraft in case
Again,
of
waiting for
emergency.
20% N2.
During an emergency, please remain in your seats with your seatbelts fastened and your seats in the upright position. In case of a drop in cabin pressure, breathing masks will drop from the ceiling and should be placed over your head. If there is smoke in the cabin during the evacuation of the aircraft, the walkway emergency lights will display to the exits, which are located here and here. In case of an extreme emergency landing, you will be instructed to get into the brace position, which is executed by placing your head between your knees with your hands over your head. We would also like to remind you that you should turn off all electronic devices. We thank you for paying attention during this brief presentation.
Two good engines. Perfect. Ignition off. APU is off. We're going to close the door. Recirc fan on. Probes and windshield heat is going on. We're going to arm the reverse. That is all good. Let's come over here. No signs. Set our flaps, flaps 8. Flaps 8 set. Altimeter 2983. The altitude is set to 36,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and wait for the go-ahead. We're going to taxi out, backtrack onto runway 25. Let's come over here and we will open up taxi charts. We're going to come out here to Bravo, hang a left onto the runway Backtracked to runway 25. Very simple. We'll come back upstairs, make sure all our lights are on. Turn the nose lights and taxi lights on. External lights are set. Pumps are on. All our signs are on. We have the windshields, heat sets to low. Probes are on. Anti-ice will keep off right now. We have our packs on. Recirc is on. And should be ready to rock and roll. Rig released. Should probably turn some of this lighting on, but it's okay. You know, I encourage a lot of people who haven't flown the CRJ yet to go out and buy it. It's a fun little aircraft. You know, I always say it is a hands full. I only have maybe less than 100 hours in this airplane. But it is, you know, it requires all of your attention when it comes to flying this aircraft. From the minute you take off, you know, to cruise, to descending. You know, it does not have auto throttle, which kind of makes it a little tricky. But it keeps you on your toes, you know, and it helps you craft your flying experience rather than, you know, you flying these the A320s or, you know, 737s. It just doesn't require much skill to fly it. So I encourage everybody, go get it. Takeoff config is okay. That's great to hear. We're going to go ahead. We're going to turn the rest of our lights on since we're on an active runway. We're going to take this all the way down to the end. After takeoff, what we have to do is we have to set our speed bug. So I believe once you hit about 1,000 feet, that's when you want to arm that. Set our speed bug. Take it up. Then we will retract flaps. Raise our speed again until we get up to our cruising altitude. This aircraft is very, very twitchy. When flying, I had to actually adjust my yoke sensitivity just because I found it just very twitchy. So I had to make it feel a little bit heavier. Controls. But a lot of things going on. I gotta say that the runway lines are not lining up. I don't know if that is a solo bug or... I don't think I have duplicate airports for this airport. I think the only other Newfoundland scenery I have is in St. John's, but... Curious to know if this is... I could doubt that's real world, but... All in all, still a nice airport.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has advised that we are now cleared for takeoff.
Spin her back around. That looks good there. Going to confirm our heading on the departure. It is 246 on the heading. 246 on the heading. We'll click this little button. Re-enable. Heading bug there. All looks well. All the signs are on. All the lights are on. Flaps is set. Throttle's up to 40. We're ready for flying. And we'll set throttle toga. Knots, check. Rotors are very sensitive on this aircraft. V1, rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear going up. Very bumpy flying out of here. Continue on the runway heading. I'll go ahead and we'll arm the speed. We'll set it for 210. Very windy, my goodness. I'll go ahead, flaps 1. Now that we're a little bit more stable, speed will increase to 250. Go ahead and we'll set the nav. Pitch down, and we'll start turning. Autopilot coming on. Disengage some of our lights here. Disarm our reversers. We'll continue on up. A little bumpy coming out of here. As we're climbing up through the clouds. Not much to see on this part of Newfoundland. It's all, as you can see, tree and ice. Go ahead and readjust our heading. Very nice departure out of Deer Lake. And we are direct Yankee Golf Papa. Actually, we're going to probably blow by that. We look like we are direct Yankee Romeo. Performance is absolutely fantastic in this aircraft. Approaching 10,000 feet now. We're going to go ahead and bug up 290. The rest of our lights can come off. And that's pretty much it, ladies and gents. Anyway, there we have it. Nice, beautiful departure out of Deer Lake. We are heading to Toronto, Ontario, Pearson International. So, thanks for flying with me, and we'll catch you on the descent. See you in a bit. See ya! Hello everybody, welcome back to the video. Currently descending down to flight level 80 or 8,000 feet. We have a speed and altitude restraint at Lepix. We are expecting ILS 24 left on the approach into Toronto International. And we are on the Amoeba 8 arrival for runway 24 left. We are coming along here, coming from Logitech past Tadmo to Amoeba, and we should be approaching this waypoint momentarily. Follow down to Lepix, and then we'll make a left over, capture the glide slope into the runway. Be straightforward. We are expecting the Delta gates here at Toronto International, expecting Delta 7, which would be this gate here. It's kind of an odd gate on the backside of Terminal 1. There are no jetways there. It's all you'll depart off of the plane and walk into the terminal. So far the flight's going pretty well. No complaints. I do have the altimeter is set to 9.904. We can actually take a look at the weather information right now. We have the winds at 300 at 9 knots. It's not too bad. Visibility is 15 miles. Clouds are clear. Temperature -2. Altimeter 29.904. And I'll keep that open there. It has, for whatever reason, set up runway 33 right. I think that's what SimBrief gave us. But we are not landing on that runway, so it's all good. Anyway, we're approaching 14,000 feet. I'll start to bug down to 250. And we'll let the aircraft slow down on its own. I did set the ILS frequency. It's 111.95. I believe in Deer Lake I set the wrong frequency, so kudos to the ones that seen it earlier. I caught it as I was prepping myself for the arrival. And the Aerosoft CRJ does have a VNAV system built into it. You'll have a top-up descent marked up here, and basically you have this snowflake here, and that's your VNAV profile, and you have to set your vertical speed to the bug down here to achieve that perfect glide path. It's pretty cool, but it's pretty hands-on. You know, you have to constantly change your vertical speed and adjustment with your actual VNAV profile to descend at the right rates and such. So pretty cool. I've already set the minimum decision altitude for 740. Runway 24 left is 747. Unfortunately, these are in increments of 10. Cannot set 747, so 740 it is. that's really about it. Well, let's take a look outside here. As we're approaching some greater Toronto area, we're making a left turn. Scared me for a second. Sometimes autopilot gets a little wonky in this aircraft. But anyway, beautiful out here. To be honest, I'm not too sure where we're flying over. Let's have a look up here. We're passing these airports over here. Cool. Continue to adjust our VNAV. We'll go to about 1,400 feet per minute. Aircraft is slowing down to the speed bug. It's great. What I will do now is, since our next waypoint is Lepix, I'll go ahead and bug down to 220. We do have a speed restraint. So we'll continue to slow the aircraft down. As we approach 10,000, we must turn on our landing lights. We'll do that. Perfect. We already have reversers armed. That's great. All is well, all is well. Continue to watch my content and you like the videos that I put out, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not. I greatly appreciate that. As always, also comment too if you like the CRJ videos. I don't see too many content creator streaming CRJs anymore. But as we fly here in Canada, my plan is to, if we're doing any regional stuff, we're going to be in the CRJ 900. I think it's an appropriate aircraft for Canadian flying. So, approaching 8,000 feet now, coming down, speed's coming to 220. Everything's looking great. Awesome. It's a little bumpy here. Got a little bit of a crosswind there, 39 knots. Go ahead and we'll start that left turn. I'll plug down to 3,000. Let's cap the ILS. Continue to monitor the speed there. 220. We'll keep it at 220 until we get ourselves established on the ILS there. We're about 25 miles out from the airport. Plenty of time to slow down. Not quite sure what that is out in the distance. That might be the downtown Toronto skyline coming up there. I do have the Samsung Toronto scenery pack there. I'll go ahead and switch nav source to Yoke. And I'll get the speed down to 190. It's about 17 miles out. We'll go ahead and introduce flaps 1. Perfect. I'll go ahead and I'll arm the approach. Should be able to see the buildings now. The Samsung Toronto scenery is not too bad. A lot of the buildings downtown are missing a lot of different logos. Flaps 8. But it is better than the default scenery. The default scenery, I'm going to say, is probably, considering that it's the Air Canada Centre, not the Scotiabank Arena, in the default scenery, it's got to be, what, 2016, 2015 maps? It's pretty old. It's pretty cool to see that in a simulator.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to land.
We are about to land, so I got to make sure I watch the speed. We're coming up on 3,000 feet now. You can see the glide slope indicator is coming up. Not sure what this area is here. This is probably like downtown Vaughan or something. Perfect. Go ahead and keep the speed up. We don't want to drop below 190 as we approach 3,000. $10 miles. We'll go ahead, plug down to 170. Go ahead. Flaps 20. So we got a crosswind right now, 23 knots. It's crazy. Glide slope should be capturing momentarily. There we go. Glide slope is captured. Turn the rest of our lights on. We'll go flaps 30, gear down. And I will set the rest of our speeds here. 6 miles out. Flaps 40. A little fast, that's okay. Okay, we got gear down 3 green, flaps full. We have our signs on, reversers are armed, seatbelts are on. See the airport in sight. We're going to continue to take this down. It's gusty, and this plane tends to move all over the place. As you can see, it's pulling right now as we pass over. Western Road and the 401. Shout out to Western Road and the 401. Grew up there 20 plus years. The missed approach altitude is set to 3,000. Perfect. Let's make sure we're recording. Awesome.
1,000.
1,000 check. Keep her coming down. It's about 800 feet. Go ahead. My controls. We don't want to overshoot it. I don't see the poppies yet because it's so hazy at the end of the runway. 500 check. Glide slope looks like we are just under it. Shows 2 white, 2 red. Perfect. Still 2 white, 2 red.
300.
It's windy.
200. Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Bursters out. Got a little floaty there. That's okay, it's still a good landing. 80 knots. We'll see if we can take this high-speed exit. Perfect. Not too shabby of a landing. But we made it down. Welcome to Toronto, everybody. Not too shabby. Go ahead and we'll cross 24 right. Open up our taxi charts here.
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop.
If I had to guess, be permitted was probably plus 200, 250. Felt firm. Got a little high there at the last couple hundred feet, so I had to really nose her down. Cross the runway here. We'll hit Delta. And then we'll hang a right. Go ahead and turn some of our signs off here. Go ahead, open up the APU door. And we'll spool it up. Clean up our flaps. Disarm the reversers. There we go. Stuttery right now, I'm not too sure as to why. Smoothened out, okay, that's good. So I would load up GSX here. The problem is I don't know which gate I need to pick. So what we're gonna do is we'll just get to the gate. It's on the it said tiered. Sorry, what did it say? It said it's Terminal 1, but it's the Delta gates over here. Pier D, that's what it is. So I'll get to the gate, and then what I'll do is we'll just request deboarding, and it should set up the GSX for us. Please let me know how I did on that landing. Feedback is always great. Felt firm to me, like I said, but it's a CRJ. So we're looking for Alpha. We're going to hang a left onto Alpha. So this is Charlie here. Beautiful airport done by Fly Tampa. I drive by this airport all the time in real life, and it's a pretty close rendition of this airport. That is the de-icing facility over there. During the winter months, you'll see all the aircraft lining up and getting blasted in that spot there before they take off. This is runway 33 right. This should be Bravo. Next one should be Alpha. We'll hang a left. On any day, you would find an Emirates A380 parked at those gates right there. I believe that's the only gate that the A380 can park at this airport. I could be wrong. And we're going to enter at Alpha Kilo. So we'll pass Alpha Lima and we'll go to Alpha Kilo. We'll hang a right. Quite the long taxi. After about a 2.5 hour flight from Deer Lake. I must say though, Asobo is impressing me with their decision to hire actual scenery developers for their handcrafted airports. You know, you compare them to some of the earlier stuff, you know, JFK in New York and Frankfurt in Germany. Those were handcrafted airports done by Asobo. I believe if you bought the ultimate version, performance lacks at those airports. Building textures lack. But I have to say, with the Canada World Update, they stepped it up with Deer Lake. Mind you, with the Canada World Update, they could have picked some other airports to do. They picked smaller regional airports. I mean, we got Equalet International. We got Deer Lake. That's really about it. As for actual passenger airports, they could have done other ones. They could have done Montreal. That would have been a nice. That would have been a nice idea. They could have done Calgary. I mean, even with this New Zealand update, they didn't do Auckland, they didn't do Queenstown, they didn't do a lot of the major airports. But if they're going to continue to put out quality handcrafted airports, I'll accept that. I'm not going to lie. So we're going to make a left up here. We're going to go around this terminal, and on the back side is where we will deboard from. It's kind of weird. I wonder what Fly Tampa is currently in the process of doing. We haven't heard from them, I think, since just before Christmas. Hopefully they're going to release the Pierre Elliott Trudeau Airport in Montreal. Can't wait for that airport. Okay, we're looking for 107. So we have 109, 107's here. Better start slowing down. There's 107 there. This airplane is kind of funky to turn onto a dime, so we'll do our best. Try to butter this parking job as best as we can. That's not too bad. We'll straighten her out. Not too shabby. This is where this flight deboarded from when it landed last. This gate right here. Guess you walking through these doors. I didn't think these were actual gates, to be honest with you. There we go. Go ahead and we'll park that. APU is available. Kill the engines. And request deboarding.
Requested.
We'll go ahead, we'll close, we'll put the wheel chocks on, we will get the ground power going, and we'll open up all the doors, and we'll get ready for the deboard procedure. I'm trying to think of a good view here. Keep it like that. Anyway, folks, thanks for flying with me today. I greatly appreciate everybody's time, and I want to thank everybody taking the time to watch my videos and to subscribe to the channel. We are approaching the 50 sub mark. That is a milestone. I know it's only 50 subs. We will be doing another giveaway at 50 subs, so if you have not yet, please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Let's continue to grow it. Let's continue to give stuff away. Next video will probably be somewhere in Europe. Like I said, I was thinking of going into Poland. I'm not sure if we're going to depart out of there or arrive, but I do have a plan for either or. It'll either be departing from Glasgow to Krakow or Kraków, Poland, or we're going to go Kraków to Oslo. Either or, the flight will be done in the Fenix A320 Wizz Air. Look out for it. Video should post and drop sometime later on in the week. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.